there guys, my name is Trugred and today I will be comparing the two devices from Moto and Samsung that steal the spotlight in the mid-range section of Android smartphones. These devices are J7 Pro and the Moto G5s Plus. Today I will be comparing these two devices. The J7 Pro is of 22,300 INR and the Moto G5s Plus is 16,999 INR. However, on the online market price you can get it the J7 Pro in 19,900 only and the G5s Plus in 15,999 only. So in this video I will be comparing both the devices. I will be comparing their body design, their display, their hardware, their battery and their AnTuTu benchmark scores. So first, coming on the design, both the J7 Pro and Moto G5s Plus come in the bar form factor design and has full metal unibody. So the only question here is who made it better. Comparing both the phone side by side, we can see that more work has been put into J7 Pro body design to make it more streamlined and simpler. For example, the antenna bands has been given a curved look and are colored to black, which gives an immersive feeling to them and rest of the design. There is zero camera bump in the case of J7 Pro, as whole setup has been put behind the glass, which is the best part of the back device. The hardware keys on the device are also smooth and gives sort of clicky effect when pressed. If we talk about various placement of the device, on the top part on the front panel you have the proximity sensor, front flash and selfie camera, along with the speaker grill and the Samsung logo under it. On the bottom portion you have a front panel. We have the hardware keys for the back and recents and the signature Samsung home button that double up the fingerprint sensor. On the right side you have the power button with speaker above it, and on the left side there are separate volume button for increase and decreasing volume, and below them there are two SIM cards and memory card tray and not hybrid. What that means that you can use two SIM cards and SD cards separately at the same time, which is good choice. Nowadays it is very important since everybody have their normal number plus a Geo number, also want the primary SIM along with the SD card, so you can finally do this on the J7 Pro. Moving on the bottom portion of the device, you have the primary microphone jack along with the micro USB 2.0 port and the 3.5mm jack. On the top part of the device, the Samsung has given a clean look and not a single placement. Now let's talk about the competitor Moto G5s Plus. Motorola has really tried to give a phone a 2017-ish look by giving it an excellent finish to the body. The front panel is all glass with only something visible, and on the top the device also sports a new minimal Moto branding, and on the back the matte silver finish along with the new dual camera setup, which gives the device a modern look. So if we talk about the placement, on the top portion of the front panel you have a selfie camera along with the front flash, proximity sensor and a speaker grill, below which is the Moto branding, and on the bottom of the front panel you have a very clean look. There is no back button or recent button. There is only a fingerprint sensor, which also acts as a navigation button with the navigation gestures used by Moto Actions, the app included in the device respectively. So on the left you can use a hybrid SIM card slot, so you can either use a dual SIM or a single SIM with the SD card combo only. On the bottom portion of the device you have a speaker grill along with the micro USB 2.0 that supports Qualcomm fast charging and a primary microphone. On the top portion the device have a 3.5mm jack. On the bottom back of the device you can have a new dual camera setup along with not so subtly placed antenna bands, at the middle of which the secondary noise cancellation microphone. Now let's talk about the huge bump at the back and where the phone houses the dual camera module. It is really huge and stick out from the rest of the design, so you can place a 1 rupee coin along its side, and it is even thicker than that. On the opposite, the bumpless J7 Pro, the whole setup is surrounded by the metal ring with the glass on the top behind the camera module. The only thing that comes mind looking it at, it was necessary? No. In 2017 we have seen large amount of devices with the same form factor that suppose dual camera setup also. Recently released MI A1 that did a good job at the house the dual camera setup with the minimum bump, but in the case of G5s Plus, Motorola went out, make it as possible, embrace it. So if there is a bump, then embrace it. It is Motorola not even trying to hide that bump. It is like, yes, we have a bump, now go for yourself. When you flip the phone in the hand, the Motorola feels lighter and comfortable as compared to J7 Pro. The slight curvy and the bulky design of G5s Plus gives a good grip in the hand. So in the case of design, it is clear that Motorola went in completely opposite direction than Samsung. The J7 Pro has good form factor and has a minimal body and hides the camera bump. There is no camera bump basically. So on the other hand, the G5s Plus has a good grip, but it comes with a huge camera band that sticks out. So I consider J7 Pro a winner in the design factor. Coming on the display, both J7 Pro and Moto G5s Plus features a 5.5-inch Full HD 2.5D curved display with 401 pixel per inch, but the display panels are different. While Moto G5s Plus features an IPS LCD display, the J7 Pro features a Samsung signature Super AMOLED LED display. So it's like a superhero of display. So if we compare the devices by placing them side by side, we can definitely see the display of J7 Pro absolutely nails the competition. The color reproduction in the AMOLED display is really good, and what are we even comparing the IPS display with the AMOLED display? It is clearly a win of the J7 Pro in the display matter. Coming on the camera, the thing that makes the Moto G5s Plus great in its segment is the new dual camera on the back. Moto G5s Plus features a back camera module in which there are two cameras with two different type of lenses. On the regular lens, there is 13 megapixel with f2.0 aperture, along with a secondary monochrome lens of 30 megapixel with f2.0 aperture. Images captured by this setup is really beautiful, and with the amazing color reproduction, the depth mode is also great in the G5s Plus. With a dual lens, it is able to separate out the subject, and the picture taken and adds a blur in the background gives us a really good depth effect. Due to the software, you can even replace the background of the subject with any picture stored on their device, which is a cherry on top. On the other hand, J7 Pro features a single 13 megapixel camera at the back with f1.7 aperture, and the image captured has really good color reproduction, and like the depth mode, Samsung software also is able to add a little blur to the object, but unlike Moto, it is not able to separate it from the subject. If we can talk about the picture shot on the night at the time, the G5s Plus also shines out from the rest of the crowd thanks to its dual tone LED flash, though it is a bit of a noise in the G5 they reduce as compared to the other devices. And on the other hand, the J7 Pro in the night contains lots of noise taken without flash. However, with the flash, the device also performs average and gives a good picture of the subject. If we talk about the front camera, however, the story is completely opposite here. The G5s Plus has a selfie camera of 8 megapixel with f2.0 aperture along with the LED flash. The pictures took from the device is really great in the daylight, but in the night, however, the pictures appeared a lot grainy and noisy. Still, the front flash was able to take the noise out from the picture, and the camera just performed average. On the J7 Pro is a 13 megapixel of selfie camera with f1.9 aperture with the wider selfie support along with the front flash. In daylight, the pictures of the selfie in the J7 Pro was just awesome, and in the night it really suffered a little bit, but thanks to the front megapixel and extra 5 more megapixel in the J7 Pro, it was really acceptable photos with decent color reproduction. So in the case of the camera department, G5s Plus wins this competition hand down, and it's a dual camera setup. However, the sort of average in the case of selfie camera, as the front camera is only 8 megapixel in G5s Plus. So the other hand, the J7 Pro really performed well, and as it is a Samsung device, but lack of depth mode and the secondary lens, it lost in the case of camera department. G5s Plus is a clear win. Coming on the battery, both the devices have the Li-ion battery that are non-removable due to unibody design. Okay, it's normal. Moto G5s Plus has a battery capacity of 3000 mAh, and on the other hand, the J7 Pro has a battery capacity of 3600 mAh capacity. But to compensate the smaller battery capacity in G5s Plus equipped with the Qualcomm fast charging, and in the box you will find a Qualcomm fast charger. The J7 Pro is able to last through full day on normal use and gives the average of 20 hours of standby time on 70% charge, which is quite good. But if you are running lower on the battery and there is no availability charger, Samsung TouchWiz also come with two different power saving modes that greatly affect the time of your battery. G5s Plus on the other hand gives full day battery backup on a single charge if you use it casually. Both continuous users can make it to 7 to 8 hours of usage, while on the heavy gaming it lasts up to 4 to 5 hours. But here you got a fast charger, which is really a game changer. With charge 0 to 100% in just 1 hour and 20 minutes, Now 1 hour and 20 minutes sounds a lot of time, but a typical phone takes 2.5 hours to charge. Nobody charges phone when it's 0%, exception included. Everybody charges their phone at from 10 to 20% to 70 to 80%, and it takes approximately half hour to give you enough charge that you successfully do your job and save a lot of charging time. The charging of phone cannot be a really big issue if you are a G5s Plus user. So we can easily pick J7 Pro as a winner because it has a bigger battery capacity and a really good screen on time and battery management. But G5s Plus with turbocharging and stock Android battery optimization really saves a lot of fuel as compared to J7 Pro also, because it has a TouchWiz which also eats a lot of amount of battery. So we can consider tie in both of the smartphone in terms of battery. Both J7 Pro and G5s Plus features an octa-core processor. The J7 Pro comes with Exynos 7870 processor clocked at 1.6 GHz, and on the other hand the G5s Plus with Snapdragon 625 octa-core processor clocked on 2 GHz. Moto G5 also comes with 1 GB additional RAM, making it 4 GB as compared to the Galaxy J7 Pro which comes with only 3 gigs of RAM. One thing to note that there is a J7 Pro uses the last generation of Exynos processor that we have seen already in J7 Prime, which is kind of a down point. Though the smaller clock speed of 1.6 GHz make it easy on the battery, it takes longer time between app switching and processors as compared to the Moto G5s Plus. And in the price, the 3 GB RAM also comes out as less than what other manufacturers are offering. The Antutu benchmark score we get on the J7 Pro is way lower than the Antutu benchmark score we get on the G5s Plus. It is kind of embarrassing that such a huge price point of 20k device giving this low Antutu benchmark score. It is 5k higher than the price to the G5s Plus. Now let's talk about the software, in which both the manufacturer took completely different approach. While the Moto tried to keep an OS as close to stock as possible and only including some additional features which are important such as Moto Action and Moto Gestures, Samsung completely overhauled the stock UI with the signature TouchWiz skin, which has its own pros and cons. So in this case, the software, there is no clear winner as it completely depends upon the user. If you like the stock and not much fan of additional bloatwares, then Moto has really done a good job in optimizing the UI. And on the other hand, if you like some additional features and you are a TouchWiz fan or a Samsung fanboy, you can obviously go for G7 Pro. So guys, in the end, both the smartphone comes with their own pros and their own cons. While the J7 Pro has more streamlined design and better selfie camera along with the immersive design, its outdated hardware setups get things done a little bit slower, and lack of a dual camera at this price point also is a really good down point. So while the G5s Plus has a really good camera, it has a bumpy design and stock UI can be issue for some specific group of people. So it's up to you and what are your priorities. As a tech reviewer, I will suggest you to go for G5s Plus cause it will be relaxing on your pocket, gives better features and camera, have greater processor, perform great. But still, if you want a TouchWiz and specifically a phone by Samsung, then you can go for J7 Pro also, as you are a Samsung fanboy and world bow in front of you. This is my review on Galaxy J7 Pro versus Moto G5s Plus. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to my channel. There is a huge giveaway coming on soon. It will coming soon on 5k subscribers. When I cross 5k subscribers, like this video, share this video, and thanks for watching. This is Mr. Grit signing off. Jai Hind bhaiyon.